Good day to you. My name is scholar and pedagogue, Monsieur Frank Magic. Most times I have been visiting schools for motivations on how to pass exams and equipping young farmers clubs, academicians, scholars, learners, education managers have again and again been asking this question: I.C.T integration in education. Why should parents and education managers allow learners to use cameras and mobile devices in education? To which extent should parents and education managers regulate the use of computers by pupil and student learners? What is the need for computers and internet systems in education research in cities and remote villages of Africa? What is the role of computers to development of manufacturing and processing systems in Africa? Myself, I am a computer wizard. I made my first 1 million through working with computers. Today, we want to see if we can do justice to this question: I.C.T integration in education systems in Africa. What is the role of I.C.T in retooling education systems in remote villages of Africa? Use of computers in pre-primary school, which has grades 1, 2, and 3. Use of cameras in elementary school, which has grades 4, 5, and 6. Use of computers in junior school, which has grades 7, 8, and 9. Use of computers in senior school, which has grades 10, 11, and 12. Use of computers in technical and vocational training institutions. Use of computers in colleges. Use of computers in universities. Use of computers in research centers. Use of computers by individual learners and scholars. I.C.T is as important as chemistry in education systems in Africa. I.C.T is as important as chemistry to manufacturing in Africa. So, for the following reasons, we shall not wait. We shall delve into the run, chasing the elephant, in the next 24 seconds. Many of the tasks you need to perform as a student can be done online. For example, you can send in your assignment over the internet, which is often quicker and more convenient than taking it to the post office. How can a student use cameras to keep in touch with a tutor or a facilitator? As a student, you can use a computer and the internet to keep in touch with your tutor and fellow students, as well as friends and family. Emails. For example, like sending electronic letters, you can send an email at any time and the recipient can reply at a time that suits them. Online forums work in a similar way. They play an integral part in keeping in touch with other students. You can use your computer to post a message to a course forum and engage in a dialogue with other students. How to use computers to write assignments and store documents. Many courses require you to use a word processor for your assignments. You may find that word processing and other documents such as letters and notes is more convenient than handwriting them. Being able to save these documents safely on your computer is very valuable in case you need to print a further copy, go back to your writing later in your course, or base a new document on something you have already stored. How to look up information using computers. Being online also means that you can find about any topic, use an online dictionary, or learn new skills. Additionally, you can access a huge array of useful materials, sources, services through online libraries. As a student, you will be able to make use of these online facilities. How to access a computer. Depending on your course, you might not have to buy your own computers, although it will be more convenient to have your own. Some courses require you to use a computer regularly, while others might require on occasional access. So for those reasons, your options for getting access to computers are: number one, buying one, either a new or a second-hand one. Using one at work. Using one at your local library or an internet cyber cave. Using a friend's computer. Let's check out buying a computer. For most courses, any computer first purchased in the last 6 years should be satisfactory. However, a few courses need more powerful machines than this. So, do check the details in the course description. Using a computer at work. You need your employer's permission if you want to use a computer, a work computer, particularly if your course requires you to load any software into the machine. You should also check whether your company's security system will block the access to the website you need to visit. The IT department at your place of work can usually advise on this. Using a public computer. This can be an option if your course requires only limited computer use. For example, browsing the internet for information. Getting enough time on a public machine can sometimes be a problem, and there may be a booking system. You will probably not be allowed to load software onto the public computer. You can store your work on a removable storage device such as a USB flash drive, which you can carry with you and also use on other machines. The librarian or internet cafe staff will give you some guidance. Using a friend's computer. If you only need occasional access to computers, you could use a computer belonging to a friend or a relative. Buying your own computer. Whether you are buying a new or a second hand, make sure that the computer you choose fulfills at least the minimum specification for your course. Most courses don't demand particularly high specification for computers, and many new computers have higher specification than you'll need. So, you have to decide how much money you want to spend. You can get an idea by looking at prices advertised in shops and magazines. Shop around. Don't buy the first computer you come across. Try using a computer in the shop before you decide to buy. Ask a shop assistant for advice and opinion, but don't be persuaded to buy a more expensive computer than you need. Look for a genuine Windows Vista or Windows 7 sticker on the case, manual or discs. Find out whether the computer comes with any other software. Check the warranty offered. Whether it's on-site or return to the base, meaning you have to get the machine back to the supplier. Find out what else is included in the price: the printer, cables, delivery to your home. Ask about after-sales support and how much it costs. Find out whether they will help you to set up the computer and connect to the internet. This might cost extra. It can be a great help to take a knowledgeable friend with you when you go shopping for a computer. Someone who understands the specifications and can advise you on the best buy for your needs. If you buy a new computer, ask about the educational discounts on offer. In any case, take the card inserted with this booklet, with its booklet. Buying a second-hand computer. If you decide to buy a second-hand computer, make sure you go to a reputable company, as there are many stolen machines in the market. The value of computers depreciates quickly, so check the price of a new machine for comparison. Second-hand machine might come with limited warranty or no warranty at all, and might be less reliable than new computers. Double check the computer against the specifications for your course, and don't assume that lower specification will be sufficient. However, if your computer doesn't meet the specifications, you might be able to upgrade it by taking it to a computer shop. Increasing the RAM memory can be a cheap and effective way of extending the useful life of an older computer. Please understand this. If you are using a personal computer assisted purchase scheme grant to buy a PC, you must buy a new computer. Choosing a computer. You need to make sure that your computer has the right specifications for your course. A particular specification may be required because, for example, your course uses activities that specifically require Microsoft Windows operating system. Your course involves working with software that needs a lot of memory and processing power. All your course, for example, languages courses, require a microphone. Computer specification. The computer requirements of the course that you want to study. Simply search the course you are interested in and then look for details on computing requirements. It is also worthwhile to look at courses you may study later. If you don't have internet access, ask a friend or a colleague to help you look up for the specifications you need. Or phone the student registration for inquiry. The amount of memory you need is more dependent on the operating system version than on the requirements of your course. Knowing the minimum specifications you need isn't much help if you don't know how that translates to the way computers are described. There are other options to consider too, such as whether you want a PC computer or an Apple MacBook computer. A laptop or a desktop machine. Laptops have different range of standard sizes for screen and processor. Do you need a printer, speakers, a microphone? PC or MacBook? Nearly everything said so far assumes you'll be using PC with a Microsoft Windows operating system as opposed to Apple Macintosh computers. PC computers are so common that people often use the name PC to refer to any computer. The Apple Macintosh, the MacBook, is a popular alternative, but the courses can offer only limited technical support for Apple computers. Much of the courses software delivered on a CD or a DVD is intended primarily to use with a Microsoft Windows. However, support for Macs is increasing, so do check the course description before assuming Mac won't be appropriate. Desktop or laptop. Whether you choose a PC or Mac, you will also have to decide the style of your computer. Desktop computers use mains power and consist of a base unit which separates screen and keyboard. Laptops perform same functions as desktop but are smaller and more compact in order to be portable. They can run off a battery which needs recharging regularly or a mains power. Desktop computers are generally cheaper, more reliable, more robust than laptops. They are also easy to update. Laptops are are portable but consequently easy to drop and more expensive to repair, and it's so easy to replace a fault screen or keyboard. However, if you expect to study in more than one location or have little space at home, perhaps laptop is for you. Laptop computers have a screen, keyboard, processor unit combined into one unit. This makes them readily portable, though some of the larger ones are fairly heavy. Although you can get laptops with processors and memory as powerful as the best desktop PCs, all an equivalent price basis. You will normally get a lesser specification for a laptop than a desktop. Netbooks. In addition, you can buy small computers, sometimes called ultrabooks, netbooks, or bumtops. These are sometimes cheaper and quite good for web browsing and taking notes. However, because they often don't have a disk drive or a DVD drive, you usually can't run a supplied software on them. You must check whether the course you are interested in involves using software on disk, either DVD or CD. Look at technical requirements for the course. If it does not use DVDs or CDs, you will not be able to play this using a netbook. Netbooks usually have a screen in the range of 10-inch to 13-inch. Often, vertical resolution of a netbook screen is only 600 pixels. This means that you have to do a lot of scrolling up and down to view and navigate most web pages. Mobiles. It covers a large range of portable systems, from advanced mobile phones, BDS, to tablet systems like Apple iPad and Samsung Galaxy Tab. Mobile devices have a range of screen sizes and browsing capabilities. The basic features are available to most mobile devices. However, you may find that some features do not work if you have an uncommon operating system or browser on your mobile device. Some browsers on mobile devices, notably Safari on the Apple iPad, have limited functionality that restricts some features and websites. As with the netbooks, mobile devices don't have hard disk drives or DVD drives, so you will not be able to play DVDs or CDs that might accompany the course materials. All the elements of a computer can be thought of as hardware or software. Hardware includes all the physical components of a computer, such as software is another name for the programs and instructions that direct the hardware to perform tasks. Hardware. Let's check out system unit. All desktop computers have the main box onto which other computers are plugged, and this is usually called the system unit. or the base unit. Each socket on the system unit has particular shape or is in color coded to avoid making a mistake when connecting components. Screen. The screen or the monitor may have to be obtained separately from the system unit. If you buy a desktop computer, in a laptop, the screen is usually built onto the lid. The keyboard. The keyboard is just like a typewriter keyboard and works in the same way, although it is usually has few more keys. It's not essential to be able to touch. Typists to use a computer. It's not essential to be a touch typist to use a computer. Many computer users are skilled two-finger typists. Mouse. The mouse is moved around at your work surface to control the position of the cursor on the screen. You click the buttons on top of the mouse and make selections. Using a mouse, you can take a bit of practice. Laptops often have integrated device called the touchpad instead of a mouse, which again takes some practice to use. A mouse can usually be plugged into the laptop if you find this easier. Printer. Most people buy a printer to print their work. You can choose between an inkjet and a laser printer. And those that print most common UK paper size A4 are now fairly cheap. An inkjet printer may even be included in the price of a new computer. However, the cost of replacement ink cartridges might make inkjet printers more expensive to run. Laser printers are more expensive to purchase but may be cheaper to run in the longer term. When you are comparing costs, don't forget to ask if all necessary printer cables are supplied with the printer. Also check out the life and the cost of refilling cartridges. Speakers and microphones. You may need speakers, which are often built into laptops, or headphones to hear sounds from a computer. Occasionally, courses may require other hardware, so make sure to check the course details. For example, language courses require a microphone. Software, the operating system. All computers have an operating system, OS, that controls the overall operating of a computer. If you buy a new computer, the OS is usually supplied as part of the purchase. Operating systems work in slightly different ways but perform the same functions. For example, you can make a copy of a file in all operating systems, but you will have to press different keys to do so. Companies update their operating systems regularly. Most older systems are still suitable. However, if you are buying a PC, it's best to get a recent version of the operating system. On a PC, Microsoft Windows is the most frequently used and the most readily available OS. There are several versions of Windows currently available, any of which is suitable. Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8.1, Windows 10, and Windows 11. Apple Macintosh computers have an operating system like OS X, and the versions are named after big cats such as Tiger or Leopard. Linux is an open source system that works on both PCs and Macs. The Linux operating system is free to download from the internet. Students have access to technical help offered by the Computing Help Desk. However, this service is quite limited for Mac queries. If you choose to buy a Mac, you should make sure that you have some other form of support in case you run into difficulties. Software, application programs. In addition to operating system, there are a number of other computer applications programs that you will need during your studies. For example, a word processing program to write your assignments. If you buy a machine from a shop, these additional programs might be included with your purchase, but do ask the shop assistant if you have to buy them separately. Some of the main commercial applications can add quite a lot of costs to a new computer. Companies often offer student discounts, so ask about this when you buy your software. However, students have access to several major software applications such as word processing packages and the software that allows you to read PDF documents, a file format that you regularly encounter. These are available free of charge. Any specialist software application required for a course are supplied with the course materials. Web browsers. A web browser is a program that allows you to look at the web pages on the internet. You will have one supplied with the computers. Internet Explorer with Microsoft Windows and Safari with Apple MacBook. You can download others from the internet if you like to. If you like to use a different one. The internet, going online. Many companies offer internet connections. To decide how you want to connect the internet, you need to think about whether you will always connect it in one place, for example home, or you want to move around to different locations using a laptop. Who will supply your connection? That is, who will be your internet service provider, ISP. How you want to pay, by pay as you go or monthly contract. To connect your home computer to the internet, you usually need a telephone connection unless you have a television cable network connection. You will also need an account with an ISP. If you don't have a conventional telephone landline, or if you want to connect your laptop to the internet in a different location, such as on the train, you can buy a mobile broadband stick, a small USB device that plugs into your laptop from many mobile phone suppliers. There is also a concerted effort in towns and cities throughout the country to provide Wi-Fi service in areas such as shopping centers, coffee shops, hotels, public libraries, museums. trains, and long-distance buses, etc. If you have a Wi-Fi enabled laptop, and most are nowadays, you can connect directly to the internet without adding any additional equipment. Depending on the provider of the connection and the number of users, the speed of the connection may vary from good to poor. You may have to pay if this is a private service. So, these are ways in which you can connect to the internet. Broadband via your landline telephone connection restricted to your home computer network. Broadband via your landline connection restricted to your home network. Broadband via a cable connection restricted to your home network. Broadband via a mobile network USB stick, which you can use with a laptop in many locations. Broadband via a public Wi-Fi connection, which you can use with a laptop in many locations. Landline or mobile. This is one of the first questions you need to answer. Whether you choose landline or mobile broadband access, you need to make sure that broadband is available in your area by checking with an ISP. Landline broadband access. A broadband connection gives you an automatic high-speed connection to the internet whenever you need it. Broadband lets you make telephone calls and stay connected to the internet. At the same time, you can obtain broadband at home either by fitting an extra box with a broadband modem to the telephone line in your house by using a cable television connection. Alternatively, you might choose to buy a mobile internet USB stick if you want to use your laptop online while you are away from home. Landline broadband is nearly always paid via a monthly contract rather than on a pay-as-you-go basis. The advert you see for free or pay-as-you-go broadband are usually tied in other contracts such as mobile phone or satellite TV. If you choose to have a telephone line adapted, typically your ISP will expect you to sign a contract for a year in return for the modification and supplying a free router. The router allows you to connect several computers to the internet at once and make a mini network at home. Increasingly, ISP also provide a wireless link. So if your computer is wireless enabled, and most modern laptops are, you don't even need cables to connect to the internet. Mobile broadband access. Mobile broadband access is delivered via a small USB stick, sometimes called a dongle, which plugs in straight into the USB port of a computer. Mobile broadband is often as fast as landline broadband. However, it has the advantage of being mobile. So, you can take a laptop with a broadband stick and connect to the internet in many locations, in a cave, at a library, at home, or at work. You can pay for mobile broadband access either by pay-as-you-go account, where you pay only for the time you connect to the internet, or a monthly contract where you pay a monthly fee and the ISP gives you a set of amount of time during which you can connect to the internet, measured in megabytes. Different ISPs coverage varies geographically. You might find that one ISP price broadband stick gets you access to the internet in your village or town, but another ISP broadband won't. You may find that you can access the internet at home with particular ISP's stick, but you can't when you are uptown. So we advise that before you buy your mobile broadband stick, you should consider where you are most likely to use the broadband stick. Check whether the ISP offers coverage for those areas. Decide whether you want to pay as you go account or a monthly contract. Collect postcodes of areas you are most likely to visit with your computer and check the ISP either at the high street shop or at their online website. Dial-up access. Dial-up access uses your original telephone system without any adaptation. It is cheaper but slower than broadband. And while you are online, you won't be able to use your telephone for calls because the line is being used by the computer connection. Some course websites have animation or interactive elements that may be slow to launch. In addition, some course websites provide documents online. If there are more than a few, we were saying that some course websites have animations or interactive elements that may be slow to launch. In addition, some course websites provide documents online. If they are more than a few megabytes in size, they may take half an hour or more to download on dial-up connection. On average, it takes about 4 minutes per megabytes when downloading over a 56 kbps connection. If you choose a dial-up connection, you can pay by monthly contract, whether you pay as a monthly fee and the ISP provides you a free call, number of use for the connection, or pay as you go contract where you pay for the calls you use. This is suitable for infrequent access to internet. You can change your contract to a monthly contract later. You need a modem, which is usually built into computers, but check that any machine you buy has one. A cable to connect to your computer. To the telephone line of in your house and an ISP. Every time you want to go online, you use your computer to connect to your ISP, which is later like the computer making a phone call. Selecting an ISP. There are many ISP in the marketplace, and ordinarily telephone companies also offer an internet service. So check whether your existing telephone company can offer you a good deal. A computing magazine is a good source for finding out about a range of ISPs. Things to check with your ISP include the monthly contract cost, which sometimes rises after a few first months, the contract duration, and any penalties for ending it early, the cost of telephone support and whether 24-hour support is provided, any limit to how much you can download, whether there is a connection charge, the broadband size. The bigger it is, the faster. Whether any adaptation is required to your telephone line or cable is supplied for free. Whether you can keep your old telephone number if you choose to adapt your telephone line. The market is changing rapidly, so do shop around and look for the combination of price and features that suits your need. Online security. Once you have your internet connection sorted out, you need to ensure that your computer is secure. There are 3 basic steps that you need to take to ensure the security of your computer. Ensure that automatic updating is enabled. Ensure that you have suitable security software installed. And back up important data regularly. Automatic updating. The suppliers of operating systems and many other common software applications such as web browsers and word processors have established systems so that any defects or potential security breaches can be fixed by automatically updating the software over the internet. The recent versions of Windows operating systems have a number of security checks and it gives you warnings if any of these security features are not enabled. You are strongly advised to follow any instructions that you get from these systems. Security software. Once you are online and using email, web browsing, or doing internet activities, you are at risk of malicious softwares infiltrating your computer and either causing damage to your software and data files, or using your computer to send out spams to other people on the internet. It is important to protect your computer against malicious software such as viruses, spyware, hardware, bots, and hackers, as well as getting individual software. Security tools as described below. It is increasingly common to buy integrated packages that provide comprehensive computer security. These are often called Internet Security Suite software or similar. Antivirus software. Computer viruses are hidden in secretive programs that you acquire while online. They may have been programmed to copy information from your machine, damage its contents, or increasingly turn your computer into a bot, which allows hackers to use your computer to send unwanted spam emails to other people. Your computer can acquire a virus if you click on an attachment in a malicious email, or if you click on a link to a suspect website. New computers are frequently supplied with a free 3-month trial of antivirus software for which you can pay to continue using after this period. Free antivirus packages are also available. It's important to keep the software up to date for newer threats are detected. Antivirus softwares often automatically prompts you to update it, which involves connecting to the internet and downloading specific files. Firewalls. A firewall is a program on your computer that prevents other users of the internet accessing your machine. Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8.1, Windows 10 have firewalls, but it's important to check whether they are turned on. Firewalls and other types of security features are usually integrated into modern security software suites. A firewall can occasionally prevent some essential activities such as downloading a legitimate file. However, you can turn it off temporarily or adjust the level of security to a lower setting for a while. Phishing. Phishing is a malicious activity designed either to damage your computer or copy information from it. Phishing emails work by posing as legitimate emails that either ask you to click on a link or reply the email by sending private information, usually regarding your bank account. An email received from someone you don't recognize or asks for private information should always be treated as caution, and the safest option is not to answer to it and delete it. Backing up. Backing up your computer describes the process of making a separate safety copies of your data, files, etc. Your computer can fail for a number of reasons, mechanical or electronic reasons, and in addition, if you are unlucky enough to be affected by a malicious software, it may be programmed to destroy files on your computer. If either these events happen to you and you do not have a backup of your documents and copies of the original installation disk for your software, then you will not be able to recover valuable coursework or memorable photographs and videos that you wanted to keep. There are a number of ways of backing up your computer. The operating system itself usually has some simple backup setting to prevent data loss due to accidental deletion of files. One of the simplest ways of backing up your data is to make copies onto a writable CD or DVD discs. You need to keep these discs protected, as they can fade and become unusable if exposed to sunlight for a prolonged period. However, to protect against more substantial failures, you can also have separate devices which you copy your files. The cheapest options are a small separate hard drive or a memory stick, either which are plugged into the USB connection. You should get some backup software with the hard drive and can get it with memory sticks. Once you have decided how to back up your data, you need to make sure that it's done regularly. Getting yourself ready. If you have never used a computer before, take some time. Get familiar with using one before your course starts. You need to be able to understand the basic terms and descriptions used. Start up and shut down your computer. Use the mouse, keyboard, and other input and output devices. Open a program such as word processing program and use it to create and save documents. Reopen documents and other files that you use or create, such as a letter or a spreadsheet. Create and organize folders on your computer. Connect your computer to the internet. Use a web browser. Move around a website. Understand how to use web addresses with web browsers. Use email and attach documents to emails. Upload and download documents between your computer and the internet. Follow instructions to connect to websites, online discussion forums, and other services. Take part in online discussions by writing text and sending it. Use a search engine to find information on the internet. Play CDs and DVDs on your computers. Occasionally install a program from your CD or a DVD-ROM. Some courses supply a program for you to install. Change settings so your computer works the way you want it. Have a basic understanding of computer security issues. If it seems a lot to take, think about what you will use the computer for most and check that you have the skills or knowledge for those activities. For example, although some students use spreadsheets and databases, key skills required by most students are using word processing to study notes and assignments, searching information on the internet, using forums and emails to communicate with their tutor and other students, sending and receiving assignments online. Learning computer skills. You can get help and training to develop your skills. Opening and level 1 courses are designed to build your study skills and give you more time to using your computer. Your local library may offer computing courses, or you'll know how you can find your local training and help, for example through adult learning courses. Local colleges or community education centers. If you have access to an online computers, there are several BBC sites that cater for your computing for beginners. If you are a total beginners, ask someone to show you the absolute beginner guides of using a computer. So far so good. We have taken our time to understand the role of computers to education systems in Africa, the role of computers in research and manufacturing systems in Africa. Uh, the conversations have been long, so with a very long conversation, we expect that in between the lines we might have mentioned some terminologies which might not be common among most of us. So I think what we can do in the remaining few seconds, let's try to shout out some of the terminologies that we came across and try to shout out their meanings so that we can bring a better understanding of this subject matter. So in two shakes, let's check out this. ADSL, asymmetrical digital subscriber line. This is a telephone technology that allows fast information transmission over a standard telephone line. This is the most common form of broadband. Application, a program running on your computer which does not require application, a program running on your computer which does a particular job. For example, the word processor or the web browser. Attachment, this is a file included within an email message such as a picture or a document. Broadband, this is a fast telephone connection designed mainly for computer use. The browser, a browser is a program that lets you to look at a web page. For example, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Chrome, Opera, Brave, etc. CD, which is compact disc, a disk that can be used to store information. Dial-up, the telephone connection system used before the invention of broadband, still used in some areas. That don't have broadband. Download, the process of moving a file from a remote computer onto a computer, or the process of moving a file from a computer onto a mobile device. DVD, digital video disc or digital versatile disc. Originally a disc read by a laser which contained video information like a film, now also used to hold other information. File, a single collection of information stored under one name, e.g. a document, a spreadsheet, or a picture. Firewall, a security system on your computer which controls incoming and outgoing information, and maybe hardware or software. A folder is a group of files held together. A folder is a group of files held together, much as in a filing cabinet. Folders can contain one folder, all other folders within them. A forum, An online meeting place which works like a public notice board. Members of the forum can post and reply messages. GB means gigabyte, a measurement of data size or storage capacity, about 1 billion bytes. Hard disk, a magnetic disk which can hold large quantities of information and is usually, but not always, fitted inside a computer. Hardware, the physical parts of a computer. For example, the screens, the keyboards, the mouse, the system unit. HD/DVD, a high-capacity DVD format, now redundant and superseded by the Blu-ray. Don't buy discs or drives that use this format. Input device, hardware used to communicate with your computer, such as a mouse, a keyboard, a joystick, a trackpad, a touch screen. The internet, a fast connection and collection of interconnected computers throughout the world that exchange information with each other. It allows people to communicate with each other online. The Internet Explorer, IE, a web browser program. ISP, Internet Service Provider, a company that provides and often charges for accessing internet. For example, Safaricom, Telcom, Airtel. KBPS, kilobyte per second, a unit of data transfer rate. Malware, malicious software, software intended to cause harm or damage your computer. Megabyte, MB, a measure of data or storage capacity around 1,000,000 bytes. Mbps, megabyte per second, abbreviated as MB/S, a unit of data transfer rate which is equal to 1,000,000 bytes per second. The memory, random access memory, the first working memory used by a computer. More RAM a computer has, the better. The more the RAM the computer has, the better. Modem, modulator, demodulator, the device that links your computer to the internet via telephone line. Operating system, OS, the master program that controls your computer. For example, Windows, Linux. It is what you use to give the computer instructions. Output devices, hardware that the computer uses to communicate with you. For example, the screen and the speakers PDF, portable document format. A common file format defined by Adobe systems. To read a PDF file, you need a PDF reader, a software that is freely available on the internet. Processor, the device in a computer that performs all the work. The minimum processor speed required is given in your course description and specification. Many processors are now defined by a code number rather than specifying a speed. Program, the instructions that tell a computer what to do, also called software or applications. Programs can be installed from a disk or by downloading them from the internet. The router, hardware that distributes an internet connection from one or more computers and can be used to set up a wireless network in your home. A software, the common term for a computer program or application. Spam, unwanted or unsolicited email. Spyware, a program which may have been installed on your computer by an online source without your knowledge and reports your computer use to others. URL, universal resource locator, an address that identifies the location of a website or the location of a file. USB, universal serial bus, a socket into which you can plug your equipment like a printer, webcam, or a USB flash drive. USB flash drive, a small portable memory device that can be plugged into a USB socket, also called a memory stick. Virus, a program designed to replicate itself and which may damage part of your computer and delete files. The web, 3. This means the collection of web pages on the internet that is accessible through a web browser. It is also often used in more general meaning of the internet. The web browser, a program that allows you to look at the web pages. For example, Firefox, Opera, Internet Explorer, Safari, Chrome, Brave, etc. Wi-Fi, wireless fidelity, a wireless technology that allows computers to communicate without need of any physical connection between them, commonly found on laptops. Window, a rectangular outline on your screen showing one activity or a program. You can have a number of windows open at a time. Windows, a computer operating system, the most common on PCs. For example, Windows 7, Windows Vista, Windows 7 Ultimate, Windows 7 Home, Windows 8.1, Windows 10, Windows 11. I think so far so good. We have done justice to this question. ICT integration in education systems in Africa. The need for ICT in manufacturing in Africa. With that having been said, I believe I've responded to this question. ICT integration in education. Why should parents and education managers allow learners to use computers and mobile devices in education? To which extent should parents and education managers regulate the use of computers by pupil and student learners? What is the need of computers and the inherent system in education research in cities and remote villages of Africa? What is the role of computers to development of manufacturing and processing systems in Africa? What is the role of ICT in retooling education system in Africa?